Some people like to go to protests. And people have asked me about protests. This, before I begin the topic, I want to explain. Some people have asked me, are protests halal or haram? Look, in general, in the beginning, I never really had much faith in protests. You know, since September 11, I've never really gone to protests. They fall on deaf ears. However, I've slightly changed my mind at the moment. And I'll talk from an Islamic perspective and from just a general common sense. The Islamic perspective for those Muslims who have who've become confused, and some of them have sent me quotes from scholars such as Ibn Uthaymeen, rahmatullah alayh, Albani, and others. And I've listened to their quotes very carefully. I'll give you an example. Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, if you know who I'm talking about, he was asked about protesting, and then he said, these are his words, you can find them on YouTube in Arabic. He said that in the Muslim countries, Muslim majority countries, in countries which are operated by, especially the Muslim and Arab countries, their whole system is different. Their whole system is different to the West, where we live in here. And he said, in there it would be haram, because it's not supported by the government, you don't have security, it's chaos, you'll start closing down people's shops, you close down roads, you start causing harm than benefit, and it's chaotic, it's all over the place. So its harm is far greater than its benefit in every way. But he said, however, these are his exact words, I was told, he said, and I heard that in the West, where there's, like here in Australia and America and all that place, it's a democratic government and there's elections and so on. He said, I heard that in the West, protests can have an effect, a peaceful protest can have an effect on policy changes, and can have an effect on government in the way they view international politics and policies within their government, because it's based on numbers. And if it's a very large number and people walk in peace and they voice their opinion, it can have an effect because it's based on elections. And when people see so many numbers throughout the world, it does really benefit in a tremendous way. Like what we're seeing right now, that is a dangerous number. When I say dangerous, I mean in the West, that next generation who you see in the tens and hundreds of millions all around the world, they have the power to change the governments and the laws and policies of what's coming in the next few decades. That works tremendously. And from an Islamic perspective, so Ibn Uthaymeen says, if it can have an effect on changing policies for the benefit of either the Muslim community or for the benefit of what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to change things from wrong to good, from bad to better, according to our deen, he said, then there is no problem in doing that. You can verify that, inshallah. I've listened to it with my own ears. So that's from Islamic perspective. A second Islamic perspective is this. The hadith, من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فلم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. The hadith in Sahih Muslim Bukhari says, whoever of you is able to change a munkar, a bad thing. Bad thing is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates. Then change it with your hands. If you're unable to change it with your hands, change it with your mouth. If you're unable to change it with your mouth, change it, then dislike it in your heart, and that's the last resort, the weakest of Iman. Meaning that you can't go lower than that. Protest, if you are voicing your opinion and voicing and saying, change this state, change the dhulm, then inshallah, this can be regarded as a form of changing with the mouth. Number 3, in these types of protests, people may ask, well, what about the free mixing? What about the dancing? What about the chanting? We say to you in response to that, that is an individual responsibility. When you go there, you need to avoid those places as much as you can. And it's similar to when Rasulullah ﷺ said to people to go out on Eid, to come out, even women who are not praying, to go out. And it's a sunnah to pray in public, outside, to increase the ibadah and to increase the love and the happiness. And he said, even the women who are not praying, and he said, وَلْيَخْرُجْنَ تَفِلَاتِ, let the women go out, and also includes men, dressed modestly and without perfume that can linger and be smelt. Now, if some women or some men went out dressed inappropriately, it doesn't mean that the whole Eid going out becomes, you've got to leave it. No, you keep going, but there will be a sin on those individuals who go out and don't follow the correct rules. So long as the benefit of protest and voicing truly does have a great effect, and it is having an effect, then the benefit outweighs the harm, inshallah. Rasulullah, also some people, they say, what about there's kuffar, there's disbelievers? We say to you, if the voice is working for changing any oppression, especially for your brothers and sisters,